As everyone that follows the NASCAR universe knows, Kevin Harvick has retired as an active driver. He will go off and be the analyst in the Fox booth. So, guys, I posed this question to you. I've always felt, maybe rightly or wrongly, like Kevin was one of the go-to people in the NASCAR garage. I want to know the pulse of the garage. Who can I go to get that vibe from? Holly, I'll start with you. Where do you go now? Who is that driver now that Kevin Harvick has hung up his helmet that we can rely upon for maybe consensus building or speaking for the drivers?
Well, I think that we're already seeing to a certain extent Denny Hamlin be that person who is willing to be up front, to be out front, and to speak. I think there are times where, he's, very vocal and honest that he might have opposite ideas from what maybe something that NASCAR wants to do. But I think he is definitely trying to do that. The other person I see, though, that I think you could make good arguments for is Brad Keselowski. And he is a veteran. He's a former champion. He's won, big races. He also is somebody I think that will really step up, and he brings kind of that unique perspective as an owner, as a driver, as a veteran, as someone that's done a lot. And I think that when you speak with Brad, he has very well thought out ideas. He's not going to just overreact or even react spontaneously without thinking it through. So I think perhaps somebody like Brad Keselowski, I think obviously Denny Hamlin is kind of already accepted and said, I'll be the guy if you like. So I think maybe a combination of the two of them.
Shirley can't take issue with Keselowski and the job he's done reviving Roush Fenway Keselowski racing. Jim Utter, Denny Hamlin, Brad Keselowski, a couple of candidates?
Absolutely. I think Denny has sort of, I don't mean this in a bad way, but he sort of kind of anointed himself in that role in a way. But I think in part that's because outside of Kevin, I'm not sure people in the past recently have really looked to step into that kind of role. I think it's been sort of a vacuum, to be quite honest, other than occasional people speaking up on occasional issues of importance. I really think the sport would do better if there was more of a collective driver voice. But one guy I think who would be also very good is Joey Logano, and he's sort of taken that role, again, speaking on issues that he feels are important when he thinks it's necessary. He certainly has, I always call him, he's the oldest young gun in the garage. He's got, he's been around forever, but he's really not that old. But he has a lot of experience. He has a family now. He comes from all different kind of directions in the sport. He's got a little boy who's starting to do some racing, and I really think that he's a person that can do that. But I think the other big question mark is, what role will Ryan Blaney want to take? Usually, if I'm sure Holly would agree, when we have a new champion, they often get asked the next season, what kind of champion do you want to be, or what do you see your role as? And I think that Ryan could be someone, if he chose to be, that people would listen to and who could speak up and use his new championship as a platform in that way.
Holly, do you see Ryan Blaney being able to capitalize on that and become a lead spokesperson for the NASCAR garage?
Well, like Jim, I believe it's going to be totally up to him. You have to remember, he's kind of coming into this having been one of the younger guys in the sport, and there was always that Kevin Harvick or Kyle Busch or Denny Hamlin. But now that he's won this championship and he has the platform to be able to say something, maybe we do see him do that. And he's really, fantastic. He also is somebody that has thought out what he's going to say. He considers multiple sides of things. He doesn't just say something for saying's sake, if you will. So I think that's a possibility. I think it's just kind of feeling out, where is that place in the garage?
I do agree with Jim. I think Denny Hamlin kind of took this role on. I don't think it happened organically for him. I think he saw a vacuum, like you said, and he jumped in it. He is not afraid to speak his mind.
No, and kudos to him for taking advantage of it.
I like that. I think that shows a lot of forward thinking.